These are the few things that you need to keep in mind to see if you're actually wasting your time on this person. Welcome back to E-Rodic the brand. Hi, my name is Eden Middleman, your favorite dating and sex coach here. It's been a hot minute and I just want to apologize for the absence or the irregular uploading. For those that don't know, I have a baby. So it's been a lot harder to find time to film. So I appreciate those that have stuck around, that have checked in, all that good stuff. I'm good. I'm just trying to survive motherhood. It is one hell of a ride. If you're interested in mother content and things like that, check out my vlog channel, Eden Lee Vlogs. I'll link that below. I offer one-on-one coaching services for those that are interested in anything from dating, relationships, love, and life. You can find that on my website and book with me. And I have a really amazing course coming out very, very soon. I'm very excited to launch it. Everybody that signs up for the email newsletter on my website will receive a special deal once that comes out. My DMs get flooded a lot of times with scenario-based questions where you guys are like, hey, listen, I'm going through this, or I figured this out. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm in a relationship with this person, or I'm trying to get into a relationship with this person. Am I wasting my time? You know, like, what's going on? Should I do this? Should I do that? And there's a lot of stress behind, like, do I invest the time to explain how I feel to somebody, or should they just know whether this is right or wrong? Is this breakup worthy? Am I really ever going to get their full potential? Like, all of these pondering questions that we all naturally think about, whether we're dating or we're actually in a serious relationship. And I'm going to help simplify your 301 questions in your mind. These are the few things that you need to keep in mind to see if you're actually wasting your time on this person. And I think a lot of us do waste our time. Now, I'm going to just highlight the concept of wasting time. Everything, you know, that you go through ends up being a lesson, or, you know, takes you onto the path that you're meant to be on, all this stuff. Like, everything happens for a reason. I absolutely do believe in that. Like, I've experienced that through and through. Even at my hardest moments, I'm like, why the fuck am I going through this? At the end of the day, everything comes full circle and you realize why. But if you are repeatedly experiencing the same situation with just a different person, okay, generally the same, there's something that you're not grasping, something that you're not mastering, and something that you're not learning. And that is why you are constantly being dealt these cards. We waste a lot of time on people that we see potential in, but have never really fulfilled that potential. Like, we see glimpses of it and we connect the dots. And that's what our brain oftentimes does, is when there are gaps in the system up here, guys, we are like, okay, well, what would make sense? Like, and our brain just kind of fills things in. Well, they showed me they can do this, therefore they can probably do all of the things that I want them to do. Or they'll probably make a good partner if I just like teach them and mold them a little bit. And this is just like a failing mentality. A lot of women do this, men do this as well, but I think predominantly women hear all kinds of advice from other people. Like, I'm half Eastern European, and I know that in that community, everyone's like, just mold your man, just mold him. Like, all men are kind of like pieces of shit, just mold him and like make him do what you want him to do. And that whole notion, I believe, is like absolutely wrong, because you're going to spend your whole relationship and life trying to make him the man that you want him to be, only to find out that he is not. And that's just like the biggest waste of time, in my opinion. Here's how to nip it in the butt, to figure it out, to cut it clean, to move the fuck on. If you see that you and this person do not have the same end goal, if there is no talks about future, chances are that they don't see a future with you. But if you do speak about future and they're not really aligned with the same goals, like one person wants to travel the world and the other person wants to settle down, do you really think it's smart to go into a relationship with that person? Do you really think that it's smart to change what they desire to do in the future? Do you really want to get in the way of that? Do you really want to cross your arms and look at them and say, well, I want you to settle down. If you want to be with me, you need to settle down. Well, if you want to be with this person, you might have to let them travel, right? Like, it goes both ways. A lot of us know this information, choose to turn a blind eye on it and say, hey, that's not important to me, to you, but to the other person it is. We are not aligned in the same direction. It has to be the same direction. Hey, I want to settle down. Hey, me too. Hey, I want to live in the suburbs. Hey, me too. Hey, I don't want to be in this country. Hey, me too. Like, you guys both have to have the general direction be the same direction. That doesn't mean that every person has to have the exact same dream, exact same goal, you know, all the details, all that stuff. It just has to work together with yours. The details can be, for the most part, altered slightly. There's going to be some compromise that is necessary. So let's say you both do have a similar direction that you want to go to, and work towards, and you do want a relationship, and you do, you know, want these things, and you realize that the details are a little bit different from one another, that's okay. As long as these details are not non-negotiables. That is why I've always told you guys that knowing what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. If you don't know these things, guys, how do you expect to get into a relationship that fulfills you, that makes you happy, that is healthy? Because you're just raw dogging everything. Like, you're really not coming equipped and being prepared. And a part of dating and relationships is you have to come with something, okay? Like, just give me something. Give us fucking something. Don't come in here and be like, oh, actually, no. Actually, yeah. Actually, no. I understand that dating is experimental for a lot of people, but you do need to know yourself a little bit right now in current day. And that could change, right? As long as you know, okay, these are the things that I'm open to changing, or, like with time, maybe I will change. But right now, this is, where I'm at. You have to have a starting point and jumping point, because then what's going to happen is if you're just like such a cool girl, such a cool guy, you're going to wake up one day and be like, wait, all of this was not my own decisions or my own thoughts or my own feelings. This is just something I piggybacked off of my partner. So all of that to say, you will be wasting your time if you do go into a relationship or start dating somebody that has like a totally different concept of what a relationship is, where they want to be in life and where they want to go. So I've seen this with so many of you, where you guys get into a relationship with somebody that doesn't want to be in a relationship. Like, it's that simple, okay? Like, let's just dumb it down. You get into a relationship with the fuckboy, or you get into a relationship with a girl that just broke up with somebody and says, like, I'm open, but like, I'm going through all this like shit in my life and blah, 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 all these bullshit excuses. It's them just telling you that they don't want to be in a relationship. And if you keep like lingering on and being like, I hope they see the value in me, and like, I'll make them get into a relationship. Okay, so let's say you do make them get into a relationship. You force somebody to be in a relationship with you. Like, that's not cute. They didn't like fully want to. They just settled for that. And let me tell you, when someone settles and then somebody walks by that they believe is what they actually wanted from the beginning, or seems better, or, they end up realizing down the line that, oh shit, I did settle, they will get up and leave. So it's like almost a guarantee that you're getting into a relationship that's not going to be long term. It's going to be very short lived. Huge problem, huge theme that I'm sure you guys can relate to, because we've all been there. So let's learn and do better for next time. Not growing together. This is super important, especially if you are in a relationship. I have seen couples that get into a relationship, everything is great for the first year, 2, maybe 3, and then all of a sudden you realize that you both just end up like feeling like roommates. You're getting too comfortable. This is a big thing. I always say, don't ever get too comfortable. Like, even if you're married with a kid, like right now, that's my situation. I have a baby with my man. And here's the thing, like, we still try and keep the magic alive by not getting too comfortable, by making sure that we're still doing things for one another, trying to be intimate and finding that time, and trying to have date nights and like plan and like put a lot of thought, effort, and intention. That is the only way to really make sure that you're watering your relationship, and then that you two will continue to grow together. You are wasting your time if the other person doesn't want to grow with you. How does that look like? They have their own life. They don't involve you in plans. They don't make the effort. You've had conversations about this and nothing has been done moving forward. They don't really see it as a big deal that you feel like you guys are growing apart. These are red flags. These are warning signs. These are signs that you're already growing apart and have been for a while, or the person is not really down to continue making effort to grow together. If the other person does not seem to care, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your time putting in the effort, having conversation after conversation after conversation, like trying to spice things up on your own. You're going to feel rejected. Always. That's going to be kind of like the underlying feeling, is like rejected and like not loved and insecure. And I believe that a lot of insecurities actually come from your relationships. Yes, we all come with our own set of insecurities, but sometimes we can create bigger insecurities or wound our self-esteem by being in a relationship where the other person is just not putting in what you're putting in. Now, it's not tit for tat. I like to highlight this because every person pours in differently. Love languages can kind of open your mind to thinking that way and being like, okay, like this is how they show love. I show love differently. I have to be now aware of how they show love and open my eyes to it. Sometimes we just don't see the other person putting in effort. So just keep that in mind. But if you feel like you've had the conversation and they are just doing their own thing and you feel like two roommates, you are growing apart. If they have not changed by now, then chances are you are wasting your time trying to do it all for this relationship, because a relationship requires not just you. communication is no bueno, okay? Like you can't communicate, they can't communicate. The communication is jack shit. It is a waste of time. How many times are you going to tell somebody to communicate? If you've spoken your feelings out, you've done your due diligence. Why do I call it due diligence? Because yes, we can't expect other people to be mind readers. Some people are not very good at sensing emotions and feelings from other people, okay? Some people are not very good at reading the room, unfortunately. Like that's a skill you need to learn, okay? I think it's very, very important. But some people just lack in that department. So your due diligence is state it. Point blank, period, right? Crystal clear. You put the ball in their court now. You said, hey, listen, I feel this type of way. I need you to communicate more, right? I need you to tell me where you're at, what you're doing. I need you to be more upfront. I need you to tell me when something's wrong, whatever. And they just can't do it. They won't do it. They won't try. Or you guys haven't been able to problem solve that because people communicate differently. Sure. You know, was it better if you text out your feelings? Some people just can't deal with the confrontation. It's difficult for them. So find a way to make it work and find a form of communication that can get the message across, or communicate your feelings, communicate when things are not going well. If you can't do that, of course you're going to waste your time. Sorry, if you guys suck at communicating, that is a skill that you can't run away from, whether that be relationship, whether that be work, whether that be whatever, like social. Like you absolutely need to be able to find a way to communicate effectively and clearly. If you can't do that, if your partner can't do that or won't do that, because truthfully, we all can do it. It's whether or not we want to put in the effort. Or if you can't be vulnerable and say, hey, listen, I struggle with communication and I feel like we need to come up with a system that can work both ways for us. And, let's sit down and discuss that. Like just that is a form of communication, obviously. So if the partner can't do that, or if you can't do that, then you are wasting your time. Because a relationship is based off of loyalty and trust and honesty, of course, but communication. How do you communicate those things? How do you communicate boundaries, non-negotiables? How do you communicate your love for one another, your appreciation? If you can't do that, there is no relationship, right? So don't waste your time with somebody who can't communicate. If you communicate on behalf of them all the time, and if you're trying to pull it out of them, again, it's the very same thing with just them not putting in the effort, right? That common theme of like them not pouring into the relationship, right? Or not even trying to. That is when you can kind of say, yeah, this is a waste of time. This is not going to work out. This is not going to withstand the test of time, because it absolutely won't. It never has and never will. If you don't trust them, I have to preface this obviously by saying, if you have trust issues from past relationships and traumas and all that stuff, and you're not working on it, then you really are to blame. You really have to fix that, because you putting those trust issues onto other people and starting to look at them through a tainted lens, you're never going to have a good relationship. That is something that you can't run away from. So make sure you're doing the work and make sure you're being transparent with your partner that you do have those trust issues and that you might need some support in that regard, but also go get a therapist, right? Like go work on that. Go do that fucking shit, because really your partner should not be your therapist. I know that people love to write in like their birthday cards, like, you're my rock, my therapist, my everything, my love, blah, 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 blah. Like they should not be your fucking therapist. Okay. Like you need a professional, because everyone has their own baggage. And if you come into a relationship with your own baggage, that baggage should be taken care of. You should be checking that baggage. You know what I mean? Like check it, work on it. You can still have baggage and be in a relationship, just work on it, so it doesn't affect your relationship, because then you're going to bleed onto other people, and that's not fair. Now that that's out of the way, trusting people, if they have wronged you, or if you find your gut is telling you something, or there's some sort of suspicion, you don't feel comfortable when they go out, and like they're not doing anything, like let's say like they're not going to a strip club or whatever, where obviously like rightfully so if you feel uncomfortable, unless you guys have spoken about that and you guys are both cool with that. Again, that's where communication comes in, boundaries, non-negotiables, la-di-fucking-da. But if you just can't trust them to be at work or like on their phone, or you're a little fishy schmishy all the time, we've got a problem. Because chances are, especially if you've been able to differentiate past trust issues and traumas and like this one in the relationship, and you put that aside and you're working on that, but there's something going on here, or they've wronged you in the past and you're struggling to move forward from it, and you've done the work and you realize, I just don't trust them. You can't be in a relationship with someone you can't trust, and therefore you are wasting your time. If you're going to spend your entire relationship stressing and worrying about them, gonna hurt yourself. You're going to turn yourself into a person that you don't like and that your partner obviously won't like. You cannot do that, okay? I'm not telling you guys to just blindly trust people. I'm telling you guys to trust until they give you a reason not to. And if they give you a reason not to, it is totally up to you to ask yourself, do I want to be in a relationship with somebody that's wronged me once and that will be difficult for me to regain their trust? Oftentimes I do advise people to just cut cut that relationship loose and be done with it, because the torture, the mental stress, the pain is really hard. And sometimes you can't look at a person the way you once did. And that is totally valid. Contrary to maybe what other people will tell you, other coaches, other therapists, I do believe that sometimes it's just not worth it. The stress, the anger, the anxiety, sometimes you just need something fresh. Okay, something new, switch up, change up. If time has gone by and you have learned to forgive and let go and do all these things, and that, again, like I said, time, not a week, to a month, like enough time where there has been healing that has been done, then okay, like if you feel like you can, then great. But you have to be very honest with yourself. And if you can't trust a partner, then what do you have? Your partner's supposed to be your partner. If they've demonstrated that they're not trustworthy, don't waste your fucking time. The problem I find is that we are so okay to put up with this shit because we fear that there's not going to be anyone better, or there's not going to be another person available on this planet. But like, wake up, honey. There's so many fucking people on this planet, and you sticking with somebody and just like accepting that stuff is very much giving lack mindset. Okay. And whether you believe in that stuff or not, like the truth is, if you stick around with somebody who's hurt you, I mean, why are you surprised if they hurt you again? You know what I mean? Like, why are you surprised that they are shady? Like, why are you surprised if they've already shown you? You know what I mean? Like, let people show you who they are. Stop trying to fit them in a mold. And that's why, going back to my first point and stuff like that, like molding a person or whatever to fit what you want. I mean, why? Like, let them show you who they really are. Why are you wasting your own time putting all this effort when they're at the end of the day just going to revert back to who they really are? That's always what happens. Always. They have to be supportive. If they're not supportive, if they shit on your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, even if it's something so far-fetched, or your hobbies or things that you enjoy, they are not a good partner, and you are wasting your time, because eventually you're going to snap and realize, fuck, like this is really affecting me, my potential. Like, a lot of times success comes from the home. Like, you have a good supportive partner, a good supportive foundation to back you, and therefore you feel more confident and capable and able, right? And supported to go after what you want. It is very important who you have in your circle, especially your partner, because they can make or break you. That's how important it is, because you're so vulnerable and emotional and close with somebody, or, both physically and emotionally. It's very dangerous, right? People seep into our mental. People can affect our lives, right? The trajectory of our lives. If your partner is not supportive, you are wasting your fucking time. For what reason? Why are you doing that? And they don't support you, if they mock you, if they laugh at shit that like you enjoy, why are you with somebody like that? This is kind of another point I want to make, but highlight, because I did touch on this, is if it's a one-way street. If you feel like you're doing all the work, if you feel like you're doing all of you're putting in all the effort, if you're, planning everything, doing everything, it's a one-way street. A one-way street is not a relationship. Okay? That's all it is. Not a relationship. It's a waste of time. If you are doing everything to make this relationship work, you feel like you're constantly worried about making this relationship work, and this other person is not sweating anything, then it's a one-way street, and therefore you are wasting your time. Do not be in a relationship where it's just you dating yourself. You might as well be single. If you're staying out of fear, if you're settling, if you're worried, oh, I won't be able to afford this because I'm with this person, I can't leave them, I have to stay with them. If you say, oh, I have a kid, and I can talk about kids because I have a fucking kid. Like, I have a kid, I have to stay for the kid, I have to whatever, You're just settling. And let me tell you, if you're not happy, your kids won't be happy. You won't be happy. You don't have kids, you can't relate to that. Okay, let's change up the situation. You're worried that nobody's going to care for you or love you or understand you the way this person does. Let me tell you, you'll be surprised. Okay. If you're settling because you feel like, oh, I'm already like 30 something years old and I want to have kids and whatever, you're settling. Stop. Don't be with a partner or a person or a future father or mother of your children or whatever the case may be, or life partner that you're settling for. Like, you wouldn't put up with this if you had all the time in the world. Sometimes asking yourself, would the best version of me date this person? It's funny because, guys, we have one life and we still don't think that way. Like, we know that we're going to die, but we're still being like, no, like, I'll settle for this person. Why? Why? As long as you're realistic, right? Like, you're putting up with somebody who doesn't support you. You're putting up with somebody who doesn't have the same long-term goals as you. Like, why? Like, what a waste of time. Always ask yourself, would my husband do this? Would my wife do this? Would my person do this? The answer is no. Then why are you with them? it puts things into perspective. It's very hard to admit no sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you. And I know everything I'm saying is easier said than done. But like life is not fucking daisies and rainbows all the time. So like wake the fuck up. Just ask yourself, like, would my partner do this? No, they wouldn't. So then why are you here? Why is this your partner? Why are you like, and I'm telling you, God, the universe, whatever you believe in is going to constantly show you, hey, this person's not capable of communicating. They're not able to do this. They don't really give a fuck. You can't trust them. Like you'll constantly be in those bickers, those fights, those moments of like, oh my God, realization. And that's your out. That's your moment of being like, make a decision already. You're not happy. Why are you still here? You're not happy. Why do you keep putting up with this? You're not happy. Why are you forcing them to apologize to you? Like if they can apologize on their own, like what are you doing? Looking at it from a different lens really does help, because when we're in it, it's very hard for us to give ourselves that wake up call. That's why you have to do bird's eye view. You know, like look at it as impartially as you can. Very difficult. Disrespecting boundaries. This goes without saying. You said no strip clubs and they go to a strip club. They don't give a fuck about you. That is a blatant fuck you. That is a blatant form of disrespect. Disrespecting boundaries is a no fucking go, guys. And there's no other way for me to put it. It's very simple, point blank, period. I don't care how long I've been with them. If you disrespect a boundary, you're basically saying you don't give a fuck about me because I told you this affects me, this hurts me, and you still did it anyways. Would I have done that to you? No. Like I can refrain from doing certain things, especially if it's something as stupid and pathetic as that. For me, it's almost more offensive, I believe, if somebody disrespects like a small boundary, like a very easy, like could have been avoided boundary. The amount of little choices it takes along the way to make a decision is a lot. And therefore, it's like a deliberate, I chose to disrespect you throughout. You know what I mean? Like I chose to like search her on Instagram. I chose to like press this button and like look into that when I told him that makes me feel uncomfortable. Or I told him I don't like him going to the strip club, and he literally got into his car, told his friends he can go, planned this whole night, lied to me about it. Like all these choices to make that decision to disrespect my boundaries is fucked. And that is why I tell you, like somebody disrespects my boundary once, you're like, you're cut, you're done, you're gone. Like I'm not wasting my time, right? I know that you made several choices to make this happen, right? Like you didn't fall and stumble. There's no excuse is what I'm saying. If there's no excuse for that, then you really are wasting your time being with somebody and trying to have them see how that is disrespect. Like if you have to dumb it down like that, you're with a dumbass. Why would you want to be with a dumbass? Like very simple. Okay. Stop like making it complicated. Like life is complicated enough, and as is, stop it. It is what it is. It's dumb, and he's stupid, and she's dumb, and she's stupid, and whatever, and just drop them. Like, why would you want to be with an idiot? Simple. Lack of accountability. This is huge. We are human beings. We will make mistakes as long as they are not disrespecting a boundary. If we said something in the wrong tone, or if we, didn't do what we said we were going to do because we forgot or we've been stressed or whatever the case may be, lack of accountability. Hey, I should have done that. I'm so sorry. And then like make it right. Not being able to say I'm sorry, not being able to say I'm sorry for blank, 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 not for how I made you feel, but for doing that. And in turn, that affecting how you feel. I'm aware that I made that mistake without you having to force that out of them. If somebody, a man or woman, can't do that, they have a problem with their ego. And somebody who is ego driven, and that's the person that's taking the front seat, very dangerous person to be with. The very basic thing, if you can't say sorry and you're a grown ass man or woman, like accountability also requires like long-term, like, hey, I'm aware and I'm not going to do that again. Not, I'm so sorry, let me fix it, suck up to you for a week and then go back to my old ways, which a lot of you guys fall into that trap, and then you realize, why am I fighting with the same thing? Why is this happening over and over again? This person is not capable of actually changing because they don't find it important enough to change. If you find something important enough, you will make sure that you implement it throughout your life, right? Or you'll continue to work on those things. But if you don't, you're going to shut up or do what you need to do to appease the other person, to shut them up, to like, sweep them under the rug. And then you're going to go back to your old ways. People's true colors come out. Whether or not you decide to do something with it or accept it or settle, whatever, like if you put up with all this shit, and if you have seen these signs and you've chosen to ignore them, you're willingly choose to waste your time and to hurt yourself. And that is self-sabotage at its finest. I hope this helped a lot of you guys. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're listening to the podcast, you guys know what to do. Rate it 5 large and in charge stars. It really helps me out a lot. I appreciate you guys. I will be back very soon. I do want to say that YouTube flagged a lot of my videos and things like that. So I'm going to have to re-edit a lot of them, repost a lot of them. And the ones that are a little bit more explicit, according to YouTube, we're going to have to take down and put behind a paywall, unfortunately. Because that is just YouTube preventing me from giving you guys the information that I want to give you and being as real and raw as possible. If you guys have any requests for any future episodes, let me know. I will get to each and every one of them, I promise you. And I will see you guys back here very soon. Bye.